you're listening.
I just don't care.
Look, if you're 300 pounds, then you are a monster, and I don't want you to talk.
Welcome back to This Is a Work. My name is David Hensley. I'm the owner and creative director of Long Walk Productions, and I am here to introduce your host, David Two Doggz Hayes.
Thank you very much, David Hensley, and welcome to Rock Hill, South Carolina's only premier wrestling pay-per-view podcast. This is a work with me, as always, my tag team partner, Chris, the Fashion Plate Barnes. What is up with you, good sir?
I feel like I'm still trying to catch up on lost sleep from Revolution.
Right?
That was...
Wow.
It was... I hate to start off complaining, but man, that was a long show.
You know, the internet doesn't like it either. Well,
I see... I think overall it was a good show.
There was...
there's peaks and valleys.
There are. There are some really fun moments, and there are some moments that just suck some major wiener. And let's not hee-haw. Let's talk about it, baby. So let's start out with the preliminary.
Yes.
AEW Revolution preliminary. First of all, this thing started at 7.
Yeah, they had from 7 to 7:30 the recap of everything, the video packages and whatnot, and then 7:30 they started the proper pre-show with a match.
Yeah, and this one, regular tag team match, Dr. Britt Baker with, I'm gonna mispronounce this, Maki Ito? Ito?
You were close. Maki Ito.
Maki Ito.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the unfortunately injured Rebel.
Yeah. Versus Thunder Rosa, and coming back to us, the 70-pound nothing. I know everybody likes her. I'm not on board with this chick. Riho.
I think if she doesn't gain some weight, she's going to be kicked out of the Feather League.
I understand everybody likes her, and they're treating her like this is the underdog. Look.
Well, yes, because in wrestling, you usually have to be an adult.
Yeah, you can't. No. I'm not on board. I'm never going to be on board with her. I'm sure she's a wonderful person. I'm not impressed with her, and she doesn't weigh enough to get into a ring. Sorry.
And whatever her gimmick is, I'm not really down with it because she doesn't have enough of a personality to be anything to me right now.
Exactly. And don't think I'm being sexist about this.
No.
Because I also think that Marco Stunt has no business being in the ring either. So let's I'm covering all my bases here.
And also, in fairness, I'm not a huge fan of Maki Ito yet.
This was the first time I had... Go ahead.
Because I was thinking about it today. From all I can tell of her personality, it's 10-year-old who just discovered the middle finger. Because...
Yeah, and that seemed to be a common theme throughout the night.
Because she's a heel who's like, oh, I'm cute and aren't I lovable? And then, of course, she cheats like a little gremlin.
Right.
And then it takes great joy in throwing up the middle finger.
Yeah.
Which was, and I'm not a prude. I love the Austin era. I'm not a prude, but man, there was a lot of middle fingers going that night.
There was an overabundance. It's like they were trying to get something done. It's okay. First of all,
okay,
there was no need for this match at all.
No, but it was more fun than some of the rest of them.
It was okay.
Well, actually, I will say it gave Thunder Rosa some time to show off too, and she deserved it.
Absolutely. This match consisted of 4 women's wrestlers, and one of them is good, and that one is Thunder Rosa.
Britt's getting there, but she's way better on the mic right now.
You know, people keep saying that.
She's way better on the mic right now.
Absolutely. Now, that I'll give you. Funny stuff on the mic. I like the way she plays off Shivani.
And that goes a long way.
You know, it's, yeah. But me personally, I thought the match was, the notes that I have written down here were extremely sloppy and random.
Kinda, yeah. Especially when Maki and Riho were in the ring.
This is a match that should have been on AEW Dark. It has no place on Dynamite, much less a pay-per-view. I don't care if it is a preliminary. This.
I say that's certainly a fair call, especially when I get into something later. But it's coming down the line.
Right. I don't really have anything special to talk about this match. I thought it was a waste of everybody's time.
No, it wasn't super special, but I did like the classic heel shenanigans that won the match.
Yeah, there were.
Because Rebel, turns out Rebel was kind of faking it a little bit. And just used that crutch as a bludgeon to get the win.
Now, Rebel, don't call me Reba, is my gal.
Yes, Rebel McIntyre.
She is a shining comedy star in the women's division. It's honest. It's been so long. I don't remember if she can wrestle or not. I'm gonna say probably not. Just I'm putting a blanket over the entire women's division just because that's what I've seen. So as you got Thunder Rosa, but Thunder Rosa isn't really AEW. I mean, she's been there every week consistently now. But
I thought they signed her because she was done with NWA, wasn't she?
I don't think she is.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, we may have to fact check that. I might be, I might be wrong. I've been wrong before.
I mean, I'm not saying you could be because I'm not super good at keeping up, but
didn't she still have the? No, that was Evilise that had the NWA title, right?
Yes, because Thunder Rosa had dropped it to her. Yeah.
Right.
I think because one time Thunder Rosa did appear as part of NWA, and then the next time she appeared, they were talking about how she was a free agent.
Yeah, and actually, the first time I ever saw Thunder Rosa was on NWA Power.
Yeah.
But I don't have. While he's looking that up, I don't have a lot to say about this. It was kind of a waste of time. I didn't enjoy it. I gave it a 1.5 because there were some entertaining moments, but that's all they were, and the moments were filmy and fleeting. So.
Oh, okay. You're right. She is still signed to NWA.
I thought she might be.
She is currently. I'm just double checking that this is current, but what I'm looking at says she's part of Women of Wrestling and NWA.
Mm-hmm.
She's been she was. I think I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, regardless, Britt Baker and Maki Ito. Did I get that right?
Maki Ito, yeah.
Yeah, look at me. Yeah. I'm cultured. They go over on Riho and Thunder Rosa. 1.5 Meltzers for me. Let's get into the real show, which started at 8 o'clock. What's up, Barnes?
Oh, turns out that was an old bio. She has actually signed with AEW at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, because she was with NWA, and then I think she jumped over.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. They need her over there. Mm-hmm. So match number 1 of the real show, which again started at 8 o'clock. Guys, we had 9 matches.
Yep.
In my opinion, I say start this thing at 7. with your prelim.
It would have been great if it started when I misread it and I thought it started at Pacific time at 5 p.m.
Absolutely. I would have said start this thing at 7 with the prelims, and at 7:30 we're rolling in the main show, and let's cut 3 of these matches. And then I think if we'd have done that, we'd have had a hell of a show.
Sure.
It would have been another home run for AEW. But that's not what we got. And speaking of not what we wanted, let's move into the next match, which is the Young Bucks versus the Inner Circle. Now, this form of the Inner Circle is Chris Jericho and your favorite and mine, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. You're welcome. This was a fun match, regardless of the Bucks.
Yeah.
I'm really getting tired of them, man.
I talked about it at length when we were watching, because I talked about it before and I talked about it during, because during the match, they started the match once everyone was in the ring by holding up their titles and running up to the Inner Circle and pushing them in their faces like, we're the champs. It's like, like you're supposed...
Are you faces or are you heels?
They're heels, and they want to be treated like faces for some reason. Because the whole lead up to this was Inner Circle wreaking havoc and, assaulting their dad.
Right.
Also balding older buck.
Baldinger.
Yeah. And it was just so ridiculous to me, to the point where it was like they had the scene where they had beaten up the Young Bucks' dad and had slammed a shutter in the arena on him. He's laying in the background while they're cutting a promo. And I'm just looking at it and laughing.
It's the best.
It was hilarious.
Was just the best. The
Inner Circle played baby faces in peril for a good portion of the match.
A good portion. I mean, and the thing about it, we started out, my main issue with the Bucks.
Yeah.
We started out doing finishers. I don't think we may not have even got a lockup. I mean, we just started doing finishers right off the bat. And this is the biggest problem. I wish the Bucks and some of those other guys in the back would listen to JR a little bit.
I'm convinced the Bucks have no grasp of ring psychology.
No,
like anything that comes out of a match story-wise is always from their opponents.
Right? No, you're absolutely right. I don't see it. I think they learned how to wrestle when they were children in the backyard, and they're cute, long-haired boys. So a booker brought them in as a couple of teeny boppers so they could run around and smile for the girls. And they did a couple of high-flying moves. They said they got over, and it's great. But I feel like they learned how to wrestle on the indie circuit, and nobody actually sat them down and said, this is how you do it.
A pit in my stomach formed when I heard that, and I know it wasn't going to go that long, but there was the threat that there was a 60-minute time limit for this match.
Yes.
As if nothing else, the Bucks love pushing their matches way too long, and I disagree with Wikipedia. Maybe this is the official time. It says it was a 17, just short of an 18-minute match.
My ass, it was 17 minutes.
It just felt like forever.
It did. And
not the fault of the Inner Circle.
Speaking of the time when you said there was a 60-minute time limit.
Yeah.
Katie, David Hensley's wife, who was there, when she heard the 60-minute time limit, she lost her shit.
Yes.
She said, I'm going to go home. It's just not.
She did. She threatened to leave.
I was like, no, it's just the time. I said, well, why do they announce that? I was like, that's just in case. And this is Yeah,
It's just the most important thing to the Bucks is they have to have their spots, and it doesn't matter if it makes sense for them as a face or a heel. They have to do their spots.
yeah, it's. But the thing about it is, they only have like maybe 3 set moves that they like to do as far as, their double team finishers.
Right.
Everything else they just kind of make up, previously, and just throw it into the match just for shiggles. So it's
MJF casually walking across one of the Bucks was one of the highlights of my night.
and then Jericho following it up.
Yep.
Now, like I said, it's not going to be a shit on the Bucks match.
Says you.
Chris Jericho and MJF were absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
Again, they played face for like the first
They really did.
10, maybe 15 minutes.
I get the idea that the Bucks are supposed to be fired up, House of Fire, because the Inner Circle assaulted their dad, and they made this super personal.
Right.
But man, it's supposed to also be an uphill battle because this is the Inner Circle, and they've got Wardlow at ringside. It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like it's supposed to be an unfair odds, even if they are the champions.
And
That's because the Inner Circle is supposed to be a threat. That's what we've been
right.
told.
That's the thing. This is a dangerous team. This is the legendary Chris Jericho with the new unstoppable youngster MJF,
and you might be
with Wardlow as a bodyguard lurking around outside.
all right. There's a numbers game. These guys are never afraid to cheat. You may be a tag team with years and years of experience.
I was going to say, don't call them specialists.
No, I said with years and years of experience, because it's like
I was so afraid you were.
I know the difference. I don't like that phrase anyway.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay.
Not so much.
All right. Okay. We'll talk about that later.
It's a bit pigeonholey to me, but unless you are a dedicated tag team, that's fine. But it's just like it's supposed to be the point is supposed to be, yes, they are the tag team with a supreme amount of experience, but these guys, Jericho tag team, I would call him a tag team specialist because
Yeah.
it's just as much as he's been a singles guy, he's also worked with people in a common goal. Two dedicated heels with a common goal of taking you down. That's supposed to be dangerous.
He's been in tag matches with some of the greatest superstars that have ever gotten into the ring.
Right.
And some of the worst, too. I remember him actually holding the tag team titles with Big Show.
Who?
Yeah. Paul White.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, he was on the show.
He's been
How dare you
around with
mock
it.
Jericho and their amazing entrance theme?
Oh God, no, that was fun. that was a lot of fun. But yeah, that was. I think the notes that I have written down here. Once again, way too many finishers from the Bucks. MJF and Jericho saved the match. Although I do have written down here it wasn't as many ridiculous finishers from the Bucks as it has been in the past.
I feel like Jericho or someone put the kibosh on that.
Yeah,
I feel like someone with enough say was like, we're cutting some of that out.
either that or MJF did, one or the other. Because I've noticed when MJF gets in the ring with some of these spot monkeys, those spots start to drop off a lot.
Yeah, and not to, for instance, not to say that Jack Perry is one, but when he had his match with Jack Perry, it was very much a more grounded match.
Yes, it was.
With Perry getting in some high risk moves and spots. But
which is the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
He gets his moves over. He gets over as a high flyer.
Yep.
MJF keeps the ground game, and around and round we go, and then and that's how we have a match, and that's how we tell a story.
Yeah.
not the worst thing that I've seen from the Bucks, but definitely not the best.
Sure.
I did give it a 3.
That's fair. I think really the only thing is like the sudden ending is like it was just all of a sudden it was over.
Yeah, tell us about it.
I don't even remember it. It was just
I was hoping you would because I don't either.
Just a move happened. A Buck pinned. I think it was MJF.
Yeah, it was Jericho.
That was right. That would make more sense. Jericho took the pin, and it was it. It was
it was right there. It was right there, right on the right there on the ropes.
I think maybe they somehow took out MJF and Wardlow briefly enough.
I think it was a second Meltzer driver. I believe.
Okay, something like that. Yeah.
Or they started. That was the start of the spot.
Oh, that's what the ending. The one who came off the I think it was not balding Buck, but dark haired one. Mm-hmm. He came off the ropes to push down the pile driver, and he just slid down. He didn't add anything to it, and it was super obvious.
That's what it. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. So yeah, we have. I'm giving it a 3 Meltzer, and while we're talking about the Meltzer driver and me giving it 3 Meltzers, let me just explain something, because this has come up to me in my DMs before, but it hasn't in a while. But let's just put this to bed real quick.
Sure.
The reason I call it a Meltzer is because Meltzer is a very controversial figure in wrestling. Some people don't like him. Some people do like him. Some people love him. A lot of people hate him.
It's also funny to use that rating system here because he's been regularly accused of being biased toward AEW.
True. And, I am also biased towards certain superstars. I try to be down the middle,
Who?
but...
Who?
Well...
What names even come to mind?
Well, I
can't think of any.
I hate to bring it up.
Oh, okay.
I don't like talking about it.
Right.
Maybe I might lean a little towards the MJF camp.
Really?
I know.
It feels like the first time hearing about it.
Well, I play it close to the vest, Chris.
You really do.
It's part of being a broadcast journalist. Yep. 3 Meltzers, and the Young Bucks go over. They go back and have a interview
with the Inner Circle.
With the Inner Circle, and they talk about
they're having a war council.
A war council this coming Wednesday, which and
I think
in our time is going to be tomorrow.
I think my prediction way back when MJF wanted into the Inner Circle is going to finally happen.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
My prediction was MJF is worming his way to the Inner Circle in order to usurp Jericho.
I agree.
He's going to bounce Jericho somehow.
I think what's going to happen is I think that Jericho's going to do his face turn.
Yeah.
The MJF versus Jericho feud's going to happen. It's going to be a short one.
Probably.
But it's going to be just long enough to retire Jericho. He'll go to the back, or he'll be on the announce team. Mm-hmm. Maybe working with Paul White in the interviews or whatever they're doing. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good way for him to back up and out of the scene and let AEW
I'm not sure it's going to out and out happen at once that night, but I think the seeds are going to get planted. I think it's going to be MJF convincing everybody like Jericho can't cut it anymore.
Right. I think we've got him at least another year.
Yeah.
Moving into our next match. Now, this was a lot of fun. We have the Casino Tag Team Royale for a future AEW World Tag Team Championship match.
Yep.
It's the Royal Rumble Tag Team.
Yep.
So,
but legally distinct.
Yeah. There was
also, I believe they kept the timer up the whole time.
They did. They absolutely did. There were a lot of teams.
They were like, "We're not going to fudge that. You're going to know when they're coming out."
Listen, I may need your help with this because I didn't write them all down.
Right.
Well, we had Death Triangle.
Yes, you had Rey Fenix and Pac.
Yeah. We had Jurassic Express.
Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
We had the Seidel's.
The Seidels, yep.
I almost called them the Hollywood Blondes.
Is a natural blondes or something like that?
No.
Something blondes?
Shit. Oh man. See, I just got off work, guys. I'm spacing. Help me.
I don't remember. I know it's something blondes, but it's
the Varsity Blondes.
Varsity Blondes.
As people were screaming at their radios.
One of whom has just a straight up unironic mullet, and
yeah.
a wrestling staple since they were introduced.
That's Pillman Jr., isn't it?
Maybe. Bear Country.
Bear Country. Now, I saw these guys once on AEW Dark. I really like this team. They remind me of the Viking Raiders without being under the Vince McMahon thumb.
I can see that. I would love. I can't wait to see them on Dynamite and doing their thing. SoCal Unlimited.
Oh, we forgot about SoCal Unlimited. Absolutely.
It was Chris Daniels and.
It wasn't Scorpio. It was,
Scorpio was later.
Frankie Kazarian.
Yep. Scorpio and Kazarian and Daniels.
And we also had the Natural Nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
With Dustin Reynolds and QT Marshall.
Oh, yeah, that's important because storyline happened to them.
Yeah.
Also, the Gun Club was there.
The Gun Club was there. And
minus Billy.
I'm just going to go on record and say this right now. I love the Gun Club. Also, I was listening to another podcast earlier. Did you know that Billy Gunn, how old do you think he is?
46.
No.
How old is he?
He's like 57.
Jesus Christ.
He is, and he's in that great a shape, and he's still wrestling.
Yeah.
And he looks phenomenal.
He does.
He looks like his kid.
He is the white Ron Killings.
I don't know what he's doing, but I need to bottle it. And,
I guess so.
Wow. He looks incredible. And honestly, we were talking about tag team specialists.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He is a tag team specialist.
Mm-hmm.
The Gun Club, I love those guys.
Sure.
Austin and Colton.
You were asking the wrong person.
Yeah, it's Austin and Colton. Those two were great. But no, we had some drama with the Natural Nightmares. I don't remember exactly what caused it.
I do.
Lay it on me.
They started off against I forget who. They were being respectful to start off. They were like offering handshake. The other team was offering handshakes, and Dustin took them. QT just reared back and just started getting super aggressive. He walloped them, and the mat and you could see Dustin looking like, what are you doing? And then they had to start fighting.
Was that on the Gun Club?
No, I don't think the Gun Club started.
Okay.
Wasn't the Gun Club, but it was another team, and I can't. But yeah, he starts wailing. He goes going off, and then later on in the match, I can't remember who it was, but he got super aggressive.
I think that was the Gun Club.
Okay, that's when he got super aggressive again, eliminated them. Dustin's like, "What the hell are you doing?" QT gets super mad and just eliminates himself.
Yeah, just bounce.
Yeah, just bounces. He's like, "I'm done. I'm out. Good night."
Now, me being the fan of the Natural Nightmares that I am, I have to say, from the bottom of my heart, who fucking cares? I still don't know what. I don't know the difference between QT Marshall and Brandon Cutler.
I do, because I pointed it out while we were watching that QT Marshall looks like wrestling Alex Jones.
He does,
and I ruined some people's enjoyment of him immediately, unintentionally. I just looked at him I just had a good look at him for the first time. I was like,
if he would turn to the hard camera and go, "The State of the Union is in trauma."
If he just gargles
and doesn't say anything for a second. They're coming for our guns. They're coming for everything. They're going to take us. But we're going to stand and fight here in Texas. And I don't do a very good.
It's close. It's not far
It
off.
sounds more like Vince McMahon than anything.
Kind
else.
of, because it is a weird, just permanent gargle in the back of his throat.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I love watching it though.
Uh-huh.
I do. Not
It's
for.
the-
No, I'm not
I know.
buying.
No,
I'm not drinking
I'm
the
not,
Kool-Aid.
I'm not saying that, but I just
It's
can't.
fun.
That's the kind of terrible I can't watch for extended periods of time. It's just
Oh,
like,
I absolutely can.
I can't take it unfiltered. I'll say that
It's-
much.
You know, it's like some people watch the Kardashians. Some people watch Honey Boo Boo.
I can't do either of those things either, honestly.
I watch Alex Jones.
Yeah, no, I get why. I get watching the car crash. I can't do it unfiltered. I can't do it without a comedian there also busting chops.
Plus those conspiracy theories, man. Wow, what a story. They're great.
I can tell you what I think they're gonna do with that is they are going to
Aliens.
they're gonna I don't know how long they're gonna extend it, but it's gonna be like they're gonna sort of try and stay together, and then it's gonna end with QT just leaving during a match and not coming back.
Yeah.
Abandoning it. It's such an obvious we're gonna break up move.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and I still say I don't care. I've never cared
Sure.
about QT Marshall. I still don't really know who he is or what his ties are to the
Don't
Nightmare
know.
family.
Don't know.
Far as I can tell, he was a jobber when he came in. He's still a jobber now. And the fact that he hooked his wagon to Dustin Reynolds makes Dustin Reynolds a jobber. I mean, you're better off without him.
Oh, Private Party was in there too.
Private Party was, and Proud and Powerful were as well.
Yes, they were. It was just a fun bit of chaos. It was just,
It was too much to call, to be quite honest with you.
oh, sure.
The end game of this
Yeah.
was Ray Phoenix is in there with
Jungle Boy.
thank you, with Jungle Boy and somebody who was the last one.
Well, I think it had come down to Pac Phoenix and Jungle Boy because Pac got eliminated.
No, it wasn't Pac. It was. It might have been Stu Grayson or
Something like. Oh, that was one of my favorite parts. Was the Dark Order coming out?
Oh my God!
Coming out no less than 3 times.
Every facet of the Dark Order.
It was the best play. It was like, hey, there's enough of us. We can form like 3 different tag teams. We'll all go out.
Can we make them heels again? I just want them.
It's not going to happen for a while.
It's not. We got to get past the Brody Lee thing, and
Yeah.
we got to take -1 and I don't know. They got to kick him or something. I don't know. They got to do something.
Ground him.
Yeah. Yeah. Take away his phone and his PlayStation. That'll
That'll do it.
that'll get some booze.
But yeah, no, the end of that match between Jungle Boy and Phoenix was insane. Phoenix is unkillable.
Yeah. Just
He got bounced into the crowd. He was up and back in like 2 seconds later.
between him and Pentagon,
Yes.
hard to find better high flyers in the world today. Also, I don't know. I believe I've talked about this before, but you know how they got started? They would put on masks down in TJ, and whenever they would get to a 4-way stop sign or the light would turn red, they would get out and they would grab a chair and they would do a little spot show for like 60 seconds and then ask for tips.
Yeah, okay.
And that's how they did their thing. And it's really fun to
Yeah.
to watch that. I wish I could remember what the name of the doc was, but it was really good. Yeah, so Ray Phoenix, representing Death Triangle, goes over, eliminating Jungle Boy. I thought this was a fantastic
It was.
match. 4.5 strong Meltzers. I could have gone 5 on it.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, the great match. That should have been how we started this thing. Mm-hmm. Now let's take it back down. Let's just keep this roller coaster going here. We have a singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship, Barnes. Oh, can you feel the excitement? It is the defending champion, Hikaru Shida, versus the winner of the tournament, of the women's tournament. What did they call it? They called it something.
You're asking the wrong person.
Women's AEW Women's Eliminator tournament, something like that. Doesn't matter.
It wasn't an invitational or something like that, or no. Okay.
It doesn't matter. It was
okay.
It's useless. Ryo Mizunami.
Yep.
I don't like Ryo.
I know.
I don't like anyone with that even sounds like. If you sound like Ryo, I don't like you. That's how I live my life. If I meet somebody on the street and I say, hey, I'm David. How you doing? Is it, hey, my name's Rizzo. I was like, no, I'm not speaking to you anymore. I don't care. I'm not. This is just how I live my life.
Introduction rescinded. Forget my name.
I don't know if she was being this bombastic just because it's the first time in a long time she's been in front of a crowd, or
I think that was just the gimmick. I think that was just what it was.
It
was
way over the top. It was random. She took way too long with her pandering. I mean, like, you take a couple seconds here and, do a little shimmy and then do your thing, but that's fine. I mean, she took like whole tens of seconds to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think overall their styles don't match what I find enjoyable.
No.
Especially because like when they're supposed to be striking hard with forearms, it didn't. It maybe half the time it looked okay, and the times and then the other times if they were deciding to sell them.
We had a discussion on the forearm shot while we were watching this match.
Because our friends who are watching with us, there are plenty of times where they don't. Like I'm not super educated on it. Doggz, you know best out of all of us, but there are people on the sliding scale of people who don't look out for that even less. They look out for it even less than I do. They're not so. You were talking about it with them.
I was, and honestly, there's. Excuse me. The hay fever's getting me. There's no big secret to this. If it looks good, it works. If it doesn't look good, you got to try something else. Those ridiculous chops that Ryo was using. Just pop, 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 pop. Yeah, I know she's trying to be silly and get her pop on. It looks ridiculous. And I don't know how you expect to get over with that. Also, the forearms that you're throwing to the chest weakly. It looks bad.
And it looks bad, especially in the context of both of them are kind of running this gimmick where it's like they're supposed to be. Well, one, Ryo is supposed to be a tough gal in general.
Yeah.
And Hikaru is kind of like, I'm stronger than I look. So they both and I've seen it in other matches Shida did where it's like she'll just like sell less to show that she's tougher. Yeah. And they both did that kind of liberally.
They did, and
in the match.
See, and this is my main problem with it. I can take what AEW does, and I can bring it
Yeah.
back to me
Okay.
because I'm that kind of narcissist. Whenever I talk to people that don't know, and I keep telling them, it's like, the Japanese style is very smash mouth. It's very hardcore. It's very stiff. It's very snug. And when they hit you, they hit you. And I put it over like that. And then who comes out? Here comes Rio. And she goes, beep, 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 beep. And what? Well, now everything, my credibility shot to shit now.
I think it was, at least to me, it's that desire to make it, kind of fast paced and actiony, like it would be on like a different TV show, like
Sure.
like you want it to make it look for a dramatic battle where they're trading hits, and that's like. I hate to just drop to this, but it's like kind of like DBZ-ish, where it's like they're trading hits, and it's like they're getting beat up, but they're strong and they're trying to power through it. And it's like, but it wasn't working. No,
it wasn't. Pretty nice Falcon arrow came from Hikaru Shida.
Yeah.
I can say that. She tried a couple of power moves that worked out pretty well for her. But other than that, this match, this is another one. I would have put this on Dynamite.
Sure.
And said, made it semi-main and said, okay, here we go. It's like, this is the winner. There we go. Blah, 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 blah. And moving on. So, Shida retains her championship by defeating Rio. What? I don't care.
It was Rio, yeah. Blame it on Rio.
And I gave this a 1.
Sure. And there's something I didn't like, which was the end of the match was undercut a little bit because they had, was it Britt? It was Britt and Maki who came out and started shit, and then Thunder Rosa comes out and it sets up a 6-person tag.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen, which is cool. But I think it undercut the point that the moment that Shida and Rio were trying to have in the ring, which was Shida was trying to say, hey, you did great and extend congratulations, and Rio was bowing and basically being like, all right, you got me.
Yeah.
It was trying to show contrition and show respect, and it was like they kind of rushed everything, and it didn't. And it's like, and they kind of stomped on that moment between them.
Yeah, and then that's what happened after the match. Yeah. After Britt Baker and
Maki Ito.
Yeah, Maki Ito come out there, put the boots.
And Reba, too.
And Reba, and did Nyla Rose come out there?
No, that's right. It was Nyla. It was Nyla who came out. No, you're right. And Maki didn't come out. It was Britt. Oh,
no, it was Maki. Maki, she did come out.
Yeah, and then Nyla came out with Vicky.
Yes.
And then Thunder Rosa came out. I was like, I want to be out here too.
Yeah. Thunder Rosa comes out and cleans house.
People are fighting and I'm not involved, and that pisses me off.
Right. Still got my makeup on. Might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well try to fuck this
shit.
pig.
I'm battle ready. Let's do this.
So yeah, Thunder Rosa comes out to save the day. So this is going to be pushing a tag team, probably a tag team match with these two.
Well, so, it's a trope. It basically, they immediately launched into the trope of defeat means friendship, because now Shida and Rio are going to team together.
Right. Yeah, one Meltzer, and Shida retains. Another one. Get it out of here.
I mean, I'll basically just say I can't say it was terrible. It just definitely wasn't my thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Our next match. See, a lot of people didn't like this match.
Really?
But
it was
did.
fun. It was,
right.
The setup that was fun, and the interplay between Adam Page and Matt Hardy was great.
Now, I thought that we're talking about Miro and Kip Sabian versus.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I love this one too.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy with Chuck Taylor, because Trent is out with an injury.
Yeah, this was great. It was a classic little story setup.
Yeah,
I was like,
people did not like this match. They were saying this one needs to be on AEW Dark. I'm
for
like,
what? Chuck Taylor and Cassidy were giving an interview backstage.
Yeah.
Miro and Sabian come up, immediately assault them. Mm-hmm. And they go straight out for their match by dragging Chuck Taylor after slamming Cassidy onto a trunk. They just drag Chuck Taylor to the ring.
yeah.
And they start their match, and it's like, oh no, the best friends are working at a disadvantage.
That's good heel work.
That
man.
is,
And
that's
they had a
great.
good 3 minutes before Cassidy gets out to the ring.
Yeah. Chuck is trying to fend them off as best he can. He's trying. They did the class. You pointed out they did the classic crawl towards this corner where no partner is.
I love that. That's
It's
not done enough, but actually it is done enough because there's no real tag teams anymore. So
It's a good spot, and it shows the desperation. He's like, he's not even all there. He's just instinctively trying to get to a partner.
Right.
It's not. It's sad. You're crying now. But yeah, as he's trying to do that, Orange Cassidy stumbles out shirtless, and he's pulling on his elbow pad.
And from the stage, I'm sure it was exaggerated a bit, but to me, it looked like he jumped about 30 feet.
Oh yeah,
with that with that Superman punch.
that was amazing.
I mean, it just I'm sure it wasn't as impressive as I thought it was at the time,
shut
but
up.
it looked great.
Shut up. Do not diminish my memories of this. That is wrestling to me.
Yeah, and he looked great. Roman, take notes.
Well, Roman just casually strolls into a startup for it. Cassidy's wobbling out after being beaten, having the hell beaten out of him. He's pulling on his elbow pad. He's like, all right, let's fucking do this.
And
leaps.
yeah, and there he goes. The King of Sloth style gets into his rhythm. This was a fun match.
Yeah.
And I say bupkis to the haters, man. This
Absolutely. I don't know.
I thought this was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're making an argument there was no point to it. They've been feuding.
There's no point to wrestling.
Yeah, what do we do anything for?
You know how you start a fight in wrestling? You bump into a guy.
Right. And do you know how this feud started?
How'd it start?
They broke a video game. They broke Miro's video game.
Well, shit.
That's how this game started.
I'd be fucking pissed too.
Right?
Those start at $50.
Yeah. And
it's
this
new.
was an actual arcade game.
Those are hundreds of dollars, if not thousands. It's like, wait, was it one of the multicades or it's
Nah, it was a
classic one?
It was a classic one, but it wasn't it was like Galaga or something.
Okay, those are pretty complex. But those are at least like $200 to $300.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Yeah, it pissed me off too. Because they had it for a wedding present. They were not yet married. For Sabian. For some reason, I get Kazarian and Sabian mixed up. I always have.
Which is weird that's the one that trips you up when we had like no less than 3 people named Paige on this thing.
Well said. Yeah, this match, it ranged all over. It was a lot of fun. Sadly, Chuck gets put in
the handicap was too much.
Yeah. He got put in the camel clutch. I don't think he calls it the camel clutch. That's what it is.
I don't think he still calls it the accolade either, but
yeah,
it used to be that. Maybe he calls it the acclaim now.
Maybe he does. But yeah, he gets put in we'll call it the acolyte, and
Chuck has no choice but to tap.
He's got to tap. So good stuff. I gave it 3.5.
Yeah.
Moving into our next match. Again, this is now this one I do think probably could have been on Dynamite.
Maybe, but I thought this was fun too.
It was fun. I'm not crazy about this story.
No?
No. But I'm not crazy about Matt Hardy.
I was about to say, you just don't like Matt Hardy inserting himself into people's lives.
I'm not, we don't know what Matt Hardy is anymore.
Well, he's big money.
Is he big money Matt Hardy?
Well, not
is
anymore.
He deleted Matt Hardy? Is he broken Matt Hardy?
Well, I mean, he's less big money after the match, but
Is he version 2.0?
I did not know the stipulation was the winner gets the loser's first quarter earnings.
Yeah, it's. Could we have? I believe I want to say that Shelby from This Is a Takeover. She might have been the one that brought this up that night. I said, "Well, where's the money? Do they not have it with them?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, they're going."
Well, that would be great if Matt Hardy, if it's like Paige is going, so where's the money? He's like, don't worry, I'll sign. I'll write a check. I'm good for it. Hold on, and he just keeps running away.
That's somebody that night said something about this, and we got into this whole thing about Venmo and
Venmo.
and
You got Cash App or?
yeah, it's as you know, I like the fact. I remember when Dusty Rhodes was working Tully Blanchard, and it was a $25,000.
Yeah.
And the versus the title, and Dusty brought the $25,000 in, and he brought it in a paper grocery bag, and
That sounds right for Dusty.
yeah, it's.
You're gonna bring this bag full of money where anyone can just snatch it if they try it hard enough.
Right. Yeah, it was good stuff, and
here's where I would actually step in and be like, okay, I can see the logic here. What they would do is make Matt Hardy pay back his earnings back to AEW, and AEW cuts a check to Paige. There you go.
Yeah,
that's probably what if you have to explain it there, then that's probably something that happened.
see, I would if we're gonna do it like this, and see, Hangman did go over. So what I would like to see is he's taking his quarter earnings from him. So Matt Hardy needs to be following around Adam Page, going, "Hey, look, can I borrow $5?
Yeah.
Can I?" I'll let you borrow $5, but you gotta you gotta run through the audience naked, or or just have him doing stuff.
That'd be great, and yeah, I'm down for that. That's the kind of that's the kind of thing wrestling does.
Yeah.
Oh, and also to your point about Dusty Rhodes bringing in the $25,000, it's also like the Body Slam challenge when
Andre and Big John Studd.
Yeah, when Studd won, Heenan stole the money, tried to run off, and then Andre's like, no.
Yeah,
just batters him and then takes the money himself and just gives it to the crowd.
Yeah, that's what we want to see.
Yeah.
Of course, we can't get near the crowd these days.
Also,
but
they're also
that's okay.
employees, so you're not giving them that money.
Oh God, no! You can get your payout for dark, maybe, but
they're earning their paycheck cheering.
This was a really, really fun match.
Yeah.
Adam Page always looks fantastic, and this was no different.
Okay, the ending was fun too, which I know you want Dark Order to be bad again, but I liked this. It was a feel-good moment because the Dark Order likes Adam Page.
They like Adam Page a lot.
They want to be his friend so bad, because Private Party comes out to help Matt, and they start cheating, and then Dark Order comes out to be the arbiters of justice.
Adam Page gets tossed over the top rope.
Dark Order catches him,
pushes him back up
so he can do his finisher.
So he can do the flip and into the buckshot lariat.
Yep.
For the 3 count. No, I agree. That was fun.
Friendship wins.
He comes out and he shakes everybody's hand.
And they bring him beers to celebrate.
Yeah, and he still won't be one of them.
No, but it was nice seeing him have fun.
Yeah, it was great, and I love Adam Page anyway.
How did I say it? It's like the quarterback and the goth kids are hanging out for the night.
Right.
There's that weird moment of like they're all just out there having a good time.
Yeah, the Sochis and the Greasers can be friends. We don't need to rumble. It's yeah, that's right, Pony Boy. All right, so so yeah, I love this match. This was a lot of fun. Hangman Page defeats Big Money Matt Hardy, and I gave this 3 Meltzers. Lots of fun.
Nice. And then we rolled into another great match.
Yes, we did. Face of the Revolution ladder match for a future AEW TNT Championship match. There's a lot of prophecies that we like to put in this particular pay-per-view.
Not a lot of metaphors, though. They literally hung a giant ring.
Yeah,
to grab.
with a lot of future tense things about to happen here. Yeah, the actual brass ring that I understand
You
is
say
a big
brass. I kept looking for Sonic the Hedgehog.
You know what? You're not the first person to make that joke.
Oh,
Apparently, everybody.
I was one of
making
several, and I wouldn't stop either.
No. Yeah, and this was definitely a FU to Vince McMahon, who apparently loves to say, "Reach for that brass ring." Is there anybody here with the balls to reach for that brass ring? And so they actually got the damn brass ring. This was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
Not without its problems.
No, but you had Scorpio Sky, Cody Rhodes, Pentagon, Lance Archer, Max Caster, and Ethan Page.
Yeah.
Fresh from Impact.
Yes, Ethan Page and
this was right after Paul White promised the new signee was coming out tonight and everything.
That's true. That's true. We'll get to that.
Yes.
So, this was a lot of fun. I'm impressed with Ethan Page.
Yeah.
Max Caster, he's been there for a minute, and he looks pretty good in there.
He showed me some stuff that night. I hadn't really seen. I think that was the first match I saw him in, and he did well.
I've seen him on Dark a couple of times, and
Yeah.
he's got some skill. He can do some things, and I enjoyed watching him. Once again, Penta, man, Zero.
Yeah.
Oh man, and I mean, I don't know what else you want in a match here. Scorpio Sky is amazing. You got Cody Rhodes now. I understand people are starting to waver on Cody. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. So because he pulled a stunt during that match that was.
Well, this has actually gone back before that.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get there.
But that was my problem with him during the match. We'll get into it.
We Pentagon,
Yeah.
which again I've already gave him my praises. Lance Archer, he is the rough and rowdy version of MJF as far as I'm concerned.
He is a killer. I mean,
yeah, he's a monster. He's out there with Jake, and I'm here for it.
which in the far shot, because Jake took his jacket off, people refused to believe that was Jake for a little while.
But we had a couple of people that did not know that was Jake Roberts.
That's not him.
And then you've got Max Caster and Ethan Page. Ethan Page looked great, really impressive. But let's talk about it.
Sure.
So Cody, he's one of the ones that climb the ladder here after we get about 15 minutes into it, and he falls down. He takes a bump, lands on his arm.
Yes, and then Pentagon gets him onto a ladder that was set up between the barrier and the ring apron, and pulls. It was a Canadian destroyer or something like that.
It was a Canadian destroyer.
Yep.
Yeah, because I made my favorite joke.
You did.
If Cody was Canadian, it would have killed him.
Yes, exploded almost.
That's right, because it's called a Canadian destroyer for a reason. It destroys Canadians.
And honestly, it's like, I mean, when you're in the heat of battle, you can't really tell who's Canadian, who's American. So
that a Canadian destroyer can.
Yes.
That's how you know.
Something before we get into further, it's like something I love about Pentagon. He's not as quick. He's more heavy set and not as quick as Rey Fenix, but damned if he can't keep up.
God, he's so
He's
good.
so athletic.
Man, I'm telling you, it's
Yeah.
though we gotta have those two with those tag belts.
Oh,
man.
sure.
It's
Yes.
gotta happen.
Yes.
I mean, if we're gonna do the high flying stuff, what better? What else do you want than that? Is like, do you really want the Young Bucks doing the super kick party all day,
I do not.
or do you want this crew here? Do you want Death Triangle
Yes.
with Pac on the outside, or Pac taking somebody's place? What
I would love for them to freebird it and just rotate.
And you know there are heavy rumors going around. Sometime in the future, they are going to start. They're going to have a 6-man division.
I've heard the rumor about the trios titles,
and
which would be cool, but they'd have to expand a bit more to really make that work.
It's got a lot to do. Now, I mean, they've already got the groundwork laid because you got the Nightmare Collective there. That's just. You got the Inner Circle. You can do all kinds of
You've
things.
got the
with
Dark
that.
Order, who's got the numbers.
Yeah, you got the Dark Order. SCU. You
Yep.
got the Gun Club.
Yep.
I mean,
A lot of their teams are already naturally set up in threes.
yeah, best friends with
Yep.
Cassidy. It's this
once
is
once
already
Trent
done.
can come back, yeah.
So yeah, we're there. It's just matter of getting the belts.
Yep.
So yeah, we're
So Cody gets hit with a Canadian destroyer, and
Right.
something interesting happens.
he's hanging out on the side. Now Penta is also hurt.
Yes.
In this,
Because
he falls
just-
onto the ground.
Just to hit them, just to get meta for a second. The move was safe for Cody because Penta took the bump.
Right.
He took the brunt of it, and it's a little more obvious than it should have been. But okay, so Cody, but
As per usual, when big bumps are taken,
Yeah.
you have security person and other personnel
yeah,
check on the wrestlers.
right,
It
So-
was
so-
astonishing.
like no less than 5 people.
Walked over Penta to get to Cody.
Oh no, Cody's
Nobody
hurt.
checked on him.
And I saw it in a wide shot. He was right there by their feet.
They stepped over him.
They started pushing this big thing. Oh no, Cody might be too hurt to continue. Pentagon is writhing on the ground, getting his bearings, swearing in Spanish.
Pleading for help.
I was like, it's just like at a certain point of over how long they were agonizing over Cody. He's like, this felt a little racist.
Yeah. The only person that would come and help him was Lance Archer, and all he did was pick him up and
throw him in the
over the barricade.
Oh man, healthcare is tougher in the U.S.
I'm telling you. Got to get that socialized medicine.
But yeah, that started the thing that kind of made me angry. It was like it started at ringside, and then it progressed to they took him up to the entranceway to work on him, and he just remained a distraction for the rest of the freaking match.
Didn't take him an extra 10 feet
Yeah.
to backstage.
Well, they did eventually, and then you got to see Arn.
But Arn was right there.
Yeah, Arn was halfway sticking out.
He kept sticking his head out the door, out the tunnel to see him.
It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold up my hand right now because I want to watch the rest of this match. It's like, I know you want me to care about Cody. I don't. Everyone else is putting on a good show.
Actually getting mad at Cody here because you're taking away from this damn match.
A little, because it's like, yeah, okay, yes, I know you're trying to telegraph, be concerned about Cody, but I can be, and also this match is going on. Respect these guys who are still trying to murder each other.
And just to put this out here, apparently kayfabe is not dead. Lots of people, I mean, not a few, a lot of people were saying Well, Cody, he actually was really hurt back then. No, he wasn't.
Because if he was really hurt, he'd have been back there.
Right.
like that. You wouldn't have heard any more about Cody for the rest of that match.
No.
Other than to say he's receiving treatment.
Right.
That's what happens when someone's legit injured. Mm-hmm. They're out of the way. They're off to the side. You don't keep them lingering out there to tantalize you with, oh no, can Cody keep going?
Yeah, I don't care if this is WWE, AEW, WCW, or Impact, CZW, whatever. If you're done, you're done.
Yeah, if you can see them getting worked on, you're getting worked.
Right. Well said. So yeah, this match goes on, and sure enough, the fighting spirit of Cody brings him back to the ring. One arm, kind of, sort of taped up, but not really.
No, he was kind of dead armed, wasn't he? He was like,
starts climbing the ladder.
So
and he took, I promised myself when I did a podcast that I wasn't going to speak on religion. However, I do think it's noteworthy that the Savior, Cody Rhodes, started climbing to the top of the ladder and then sacrificed himself so that Scorpio Sky could take the win. Now, you can read into that whatever you want to. I'm not trying to say anything. Maybe we could get some Romans after Cody. That's all I'm saying. That might have been over the top. I apologize.
Toss him in a mausoleum, roll a stone in front.
He'll be back in 3 days. Yeah, we're gonna get in trouble for that.
But yeah,
one.
no,
Okay.
it was a good match, and Scorpio literally takes the brass ring.
He literally takes the brass. It was fantastic,
and it was bigger than I thought it was.
It was so big. It was a hula hoop.
That giant fucking Cheerio.
This was so much fun. I had a great time watching it. Mm-hmm. I gave it a solid 4 Meltzers.
Absolutely.
Now, we move into the big signing.
Oh, that's right.
The signing.
Which I think went the way it did because they were running long.
So long. Because everybody took way too long. Now, I'll give... excuse me. I will give the Tag Team Casino...
Yeah.
Battle Royal.
That was always going to be long because Battle Royal...
It's going to take a minute.
And every available tag team.
Ladder match. It's going to take a minute.
Yeah, you got to...
Everybody else is on the list for going too long.
And those 2 matches are the longest. With according to this, the Royale was 26, about just shy of 27 minutes, and the brass ring match was just over 23. Those are
honestly, that's fair to Midland for those type of matches.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah,
for those. Yeah. Yeah, those are and the absolute shortest match for good reason was the best friends getting ultimately beaten by Miro and Sabian.
Right,
and that was just like I said, just shy of 8 minutes. So,
my biggest problem with this, guys, is that I know you don't want to copy WWE, but start the damn pay-per-view at 6.
Yeah,
like is it because we went to 11:30? Is that what it was?
It was between 11:30 and 12. I got home. I finally made it home back from your place a little bit after midnight, somewhat.
I left at 10:45, and the Sting match was just starting.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like.
Yeah. This pay-per-view should have been over at 10:30.
Absolutely. WWE has they have the advantage there. They start the pre-show at 6. They start the main show at 7.
Yeah.
There, depending on how quick, I mean, maybe it'll go to 10:30.
Yeah.
But unless it's a big show, I mean.
And see, I want to blame Florida on this, but WWE's in Florida too.
Yes,
so
they are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I can't blame it on Florida.
They're all hanging out in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we got our new signing, and man, as they put the podium out there.
Yeah.
And they got the crowd pumped.
I had been watching people guess on Twitter, and some people called it. Some people absolutely
I was
called
one
it.
of them.
You were. Yes, you were.
We're waiting for that big name. A big name.
Now, I don't know. They didn't phrase it like that, but I think
Paul White most definitely did.
But
Hall of Fame worthy, he says, Barnes.
and he is as the team.
With a tag team, sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He is. But when a wrestling company is hyping a signing, they're going to do that.
Sure.
But then, of course, the internet went wild with who they thought were coming in.
Now, okay. Now, some people made legitimate points. Some people said Ryback.
Maybe.
Okay.
He's not Hall of Fame worthy.
Not Hall of Fame worthy, but
No offense
Big
to the-
Show kept saying, Paul White kept saying, this is a big, huge star. And he kept emphasizing big. And so you start thinking, okay, it's a big guy.
No,
a big guy, Ryback.
I can see that because it's the same issue as when
you start thinking about
in WCW when Hogan hyped an ultimate surprise. It's like
Yeah.
you used that word for a reason,
right.
and it also got them sued.
You start you start thinking about Brock Lesnar. That I heard a lot of people say Brock Lesnar.
That makes zero sense to me, but okay.
Look, I'm not saying that he. I mean, he's not under WWE contract right now.
I'm sure he would have listened to an offer, but I don't think Lesnar would have done that.
No. I personally, I think Lesnar's done.
Yeah, based on his past, his previous work schedules with WWE.
Yeah, and that is he ain't going anywhere until crowds come back. It's got to be 100%, 100% safe from COVID
because he's immunocompromised, right? Is he?
Well, he's got diverticulitis. Plus, he doesn't like people anyway.
Fair enough. Fair.
So yeah, I honestly don't think we're ever going to see Brock Lesnar again.
That's fine.
But Hall of Fame worthy. Yeah, he absolutely is.
Sure.
I know a lot of people don't like him, but he absolutely is Hall of Fame worthy.
People said Angle, and while I would entertain that only if Angle could actually still go. I'm not saying
he looks bad.
I'm not saying he couldn't go once in a while, but Angle only ever jumped to TNA because WWE said stop wrestling, and he's like, fuck you.
Yeah, right.
That's why he did what he did.
Absolutely.
But it made perfect sense when the person came out.
And that person was Christian Cage.
Yep, and it made sense when he walked out because I was like, of course he would do it. He was one of the first people to go from WWE to TNA and really make a name for himself.
Yeah,
and show that that WWE was wasting him.
Right.
So reportedly the reason he did it was I don't have any confirmation on this, but reportedly the Rumble was a one-time deal, and when they went to negotiate for more, they apparently might have lowballed him.
Yeah, honestly,
I could see it.
If I was Vince, I don't blame him.
Understandable, but
because what are you gonna do with him? His singles run in WWE was less than stellar.
That wasn't his fault, though.
It wasn't, but I mean, how much do the WWE universe really care about Christian? I know they care about him with Edge,
right? And I think that's where he probably got offended with the low ball, and considering all the TLC work they've done.
Sure.
I mean, but you've still got Hardy on the roster.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that. Yeah. So.
Christian, it was a very simple segment. He walks out. He comes out. He signs his contract, leaves it in the ring for some reason because
so somebody else can get
which
it.
is weird because they have to file that. They got to take that back to the office.
Right.
This weird, poses a little bit and then heads to the
He
back.
shows off his new shirt.
Outwork
everybody. That is fun.
It is.
And that's the end of that segment.
Yep.
Actually, we've talked about it longer than it actually was.
Oh, yeah. Christian showed up. That was the segment.
Yeah.
Which I found funny later because apparently they had been, I don't know if they had actually had promoted it or what, but they had thought about having Edge and Christian versus Roman and Jay.
I think it was discussed.
They had floated that idea.
But so that happened. So now we're going to move into our semi-main event. Darby Allin and Sting versus Team Taz in a street fight.
Yep.
Now, boy, Hensley, I really wish you would have stuck this one out. Because I would have loved to have gotten your take on the whole thing. It started slow and
Let me tell you how it started.
mildly. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Look, and the reason I'm even more annoyed with it is what we're going to talk about at the end of the show.
Okay.
But they decide this is the most overblown it's been in any of the cinematic matches so far. They went full video game intro for this. They had Cage and Starks get in their own car and travel, and then they do a fancy ass transition over to Sting getting in a truck that looks too beat up to be his.
Yeah. We don't know how much Sting actually has.
I'm
as
sure
far
he
as
saved his money. I'm sure he saved his money. But
what's he doing back then?
they offered him. I mean, I'm sure with the amount they offered him, I'd have gone too.
They probably.
But so he's driving also, and Darby Allin is skating to the factory they're gonna fight in. Catches up with Sting, starts sketching on the back of the truck, and they all arrive. Meanwhile, a bunch of people dressed in Sting and was it just Sting mask or was it Sting Darby Allin combination?
No, I think it was
just
like Sting or a reasonable variation thereof.
They all show up. Again, very video game ass intro.
Mm-hmm.
Also, and during the match, they do a bunch of funky transitions where it's like when you're switching characters in GTA and other things, where they do this weird special pan over
zoom out and then pan in for a tight close up, and
they jump between people fighting. They jump between, what was it? Sting and Cage fighting to Darby Allin and Starks.
Mm-hmm.
Or reverse
I think it's reversed that.
Yeah, it was Starks and Sting and Cage and Allin.
Yeah.
They did that a few times and did a bunch of special close-ups. And it's like, guys, I'm supposed to believe this is a street fight they met up to have.
Yeah.
No. This is actually what convinced me to finally go home. You had me so on board with the exploding barbed wire death match that I was like, we had been at your house filming all day. I got there like shortly before 10 o'clock in the morning.
Man was exhausted.
Yeah. This was roughly almost 12 hours or over 12 hours later.
Yeah, 12 hours later. And I just want to see these exploding barbed wire death match. And then this cinematic bullshit started, and I was like, I'm not going to make it. This is too much. I'm going home.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because having said all that, it was a fun match.
It really
was. It was a fun match.
I dare say, out of all the cinematic matches that we have seen all last year, in my opinion, this is the best one.
It would be this one in the Funhouse for me.
I got to go with this one.
Well, that's only because the Funhouse isn't really a wrestling match.
Right.
This one was a street fight in a factory.
Yeah.
There were some amazing spots like Darby Allin getting swung into a standing window.
Yeah, he Well, he started out. Brian Cage threw him against a brick wall.
Yep.
He Spider-Man'd off of it and came back with a coffin drop.
Yep.
What the hell?
It was something special.
There were some fantastic spots.
We got to talk about Chekhov's bat. Oh my God! Yeah, at some point, Sting is going after Starks with the bat, and he's like,
still cracks me up.
and he's like, you know what? He's like, fine, we'll go mano a mano, and tosses the bat up into a second story area. Mm-hmm. And then later on, Darby Allin is up on the second story area, grabs the bat, and tosses it back to Sting.
Yeah. I mean, it was grainy.
Yeah.
And honestly, had an Attitude Era feel to it.
It did. It really did.
The only thing we're missing is the pyro.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of fun.
And then Will Hobbs and Hook both interfered. Mm-hmm. And it was we cannot forget Brian Cage pulling Darby Allin up into a suplex and then walking up a flight of stairs.
He absolutely did. He put him into a full suspended suplex, walked up a full flight of stairs before planting him.
Yep.
It was that guy. Wow.
It was fun as hell.
So much fun. Again,
And
I can't rate this.
oh my God. Yeah. Well, 2 thumbs up.
Right.
And that final coffin drop from Darby Allin onto what was you knew it was someone was going through it, but that thing that like wooden thing, that pallet thing they had set
That
up,
had just been looming around the whole package.
like, it was near the ring they had set up when they started.
Yeah.
And it was clearly hiding a crash pad of some kind, but
Yeah.
but you saw that and it's like at some point, yeah, it was like at some point, like, well, I want to say it was like, was it Cage and Hobbs and
This was, I think it was Starks and Allen.
okay,
Am I right about that?
I thought maybe the other ones were caught in it too because yeah, you're right, because Sting, I thought Sting beat Starks. Hold on, it doesn't say who beat who, but it's like Sting ultimately beat one of them with the Scorpion Death Drop.
The Scorpion Death Drop, yeah.
And I want to say it was Starks.
I'm pretty, yeah, now that you say that, I'm pretty sure it was Starks.
Because I'm pretty sure Darby Allin coffin dropped Brian Cage straight to hell.
This was so much fun. Yeah, like Barnes said, I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. I can't give it a Meltzer rating because it wasn't a wrestling match. But I can't rate these cinematic matches. I can't do it.
And the camera shit, I was just like, they're trying too hard with it. That's the most I've seen anyone try with it, and I was like, I didn't like it. But I will say this:
I was a little annoyed, but once we got rolling, I didn't mind it anymore.
It just took me out of what I wanted, which was a fight. But
right.
because again, it just goes back to my suspension of disbelief is even if they are meeting up to fight in a factory, abandoned factory, it's the idea that this is ostensibly a sporting program of some kind where it's like, like basically like if you were watching a football match, you wouldn't have like special. Well, okay, I can't say that for sure. I think they do shit like that, but
yeah,
but that's in post editing. That's in like after things have happened, but they don't do this as they go along most of the time. Or like if you're watching a hockey game,
yeah,
stuff like that. But yeah, it was a fun match.
And let's go to the main event of the evening. This is the moment we have all been waiting for, Chris Barnes. This is the AEW Championship match, an exploding barbed wire death match. I believe the stat was one of these hasn't happened in over 20 years.
At least, yeah. Possibly longer, but
Kenny Omega, the defending champion, versus John All right, let's do it.
Okay.
So, I feel like if I had to guess, they got stoned one night and they watched a Japanese death match and they said, "Hey, let's do that." I don't know, man. I've seen death matches that, as a child, scared the hell out of me. I mean,
Well, I think that's why they stayed with you harder.
Yeah.
Because of when you saw them.
and actually, to the point was, after I watched this match, I went back, tried to view some other ones. Some of them were still really good, but they didn't hold up like I remember as a child. Still incredibly violent. As was this one.
Yes.
Probably not as violent as some of the other ones.
No, and I kind of expected that, considering, Japan's a little more intense / lax about that, where they'll be like, yeah, go for it. Sure.
Right. And I had spoken with a dear friend of mine, Chris Stowe, who boy, I really want to get him on the podcast. You want to talk about a man, a font of information on wrestling? That's him. He was telling me, he was like, well, they also, the fire codes are a lot more lenient in Japan than they are here in the States.
Even then, one of the most famous ones that Mick Foley was in, they was outdoors too. So
it was, and there was another one that was in an arena.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. They are more lax about that.
This one, they tried to stay away from the barbed wire. They would try to shoot each other in. They'd put the brakes on.
That's a classic. The teases. It's like you don't know when the first blood's going to be drawn. I think, because I knew there was going to be some pullback on it. I think they did good with what they did. I think it was good.
It was okay. It was okay.
I think it was a little better than that, but all right.
I got a couple of problems. If you're gonna do a death match,
sure,
especially if you're gonna do barbed wire, if you're a heel, I think you're allowed to wear a shirt.
Yeah.
The face, no.
Yeah, and
you lose that shirt, we gotta see the pain.
He did eventually, but yeah. Also, Moxley was wearing a dark shirt.
Yeah.
That wasn't good. That wasn't a good choice, I don't think. But I did like it. I did like it.
There was, it was okay. I wasn't as impressed as I wanted to be.
I think what got me environment wise was it looked too bright and too clean in the arena.
That's kind of where I'm coming from.
Because when you see a death match, you kind of want and. I remember when they had their last knockout, drag-out one that Moxley won, It was also the same kind of environment, but I think since they were hyping this as a death match, that one wasn't, but this one was hyped as a death match. It should have seemed a way more unseemly.
Yeah, there was no grit.
No.
In this one, it seemed very, for a death match. Mm-hmm. It felt vanilla.
I will agree, but I think to a point. I'll agree to a point. But
and that may be strong.
But I will say this, for all its faults, I got into it. I had a good time with it.
I did. I did enjoy the match for what it was. For it being a hardcore match.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Reminded me of ECW. Mm-hmm. Did it remind me of All Japan? No, not remotely. The exploding barbed wire was It was about as expected.
It was a little hit or miss.
There was some. It was some pops there.
Basically the quote unquote C4 that they hit in there was basically meant to just explode and make it look bigger and worse than it was.
But we come down to it, and I don't even remember what it was. Was it the one-winged angel that he got hit that he took the loss on?
Yes, after the brothers interfered.
That's what it was. The
Impact Tag Champs interfered on Omega's behalf. He was about to take the one-winged angel. No. The lead-up was he took a one-winged angel. He wasn't going to kick out of it, but he managed to get his foot against one of the exploding barbed wire ring ropes. Mm-hmm. Hit it. It hit, so it exploded on both of them.
Right. Yeah.
And it got him out of it. And before he could recover, then the Impact Tag Champs interfered and made sure he got put into the one-winged angel.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Now, here we go.
Now, I'm not going to make myself sound super impressive, but I think I was the first one to realize, hey, they never said that the countdown to the ring exploding stopped.
You're right. You were the one to call this.
I was watching them kind of celebrate and everything. I was like, wait, is the ring still going to explode?
And I had seen one, well, let's just call it what it is. I've seen one with the exact same ending before.
Sure.
Now, so Moxley is in the ring, basically dead.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's coming to help him. Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers, they have left.
They've left because they know what's coming.
And who comes out but Eddie Kingston?
Right as a countdown comes up for a minute left.
Yeah. And he's trying to pull him out of the ring.
And he can't.
Eddie Kingston,
who has fought tooth and nail against Moxley. Mm-hmm. And he comes out, and in this enormous show of respect, he's trying to help him get out of the ring before it goes out.
Trying to get him to shake the cobwebs off. No, he's out. He's out cold.
And Kingston sees the timer, and he's like, "Oh shit, there's no time." He covers Moxley himself to protect him.
4, 3, 2,
an amazing
1.
An amazing badass move and a sign of respect.
Yes. And then sparklers came up from
and then the worst most disappointing 4th of July in your backyard fireworks went off. Basically
sparklers from the turnpost.
Plumes of sparklers came up from the turnpost. A loud bunch of a loud pop of firecrackers, and
there was more pyro when Cody came out.
Yes, I asked legitimately, is this the practice thing, and they didn't switch it out?
Now the one that I saw however many years ago, again with the same finish, it was similar.
Yeah, but
at least the ring damn near caught on fire.
Yeah. And at the very least, they should have maybe gimmicked it to fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
If maybe one of the supports fell or just something.
It would have been a little, if I was kind of expecting it to fall, because I was like, I went into this thinking, I was like, I'm excited to see what they do. I know they can't do it Japanese style. I know they can't won't.
They can't really
put
the ring up. But
it's like, but maybe I do know it is within their power to make the ring collapse. Maybe they'll do that. That'll be fun. That's an American thing now. WWE's done it 6 or 7 times.
Sure.
It's well within their power to do that. No, not going to make the ring collapse. No, we just had some sparklers.
And Kingston is just laying there.
He has not seen the...
No. I reckon...
earth-shattering kaboom.
I reckon, I mean, from his perspective, he could see the lights of the pyro going up and assume that it went off.
Yeah.
Or even not, but
he has to play dead.
He has been instructed to take it like he was blowed up.
Yeah.
And EMT, and I was like, wait, why is he not moving? What's happening? And then EMTs come out. and they come out and they roll him over. He's selling it like death. He's out.
Yeah.
He's out, and then the announcers are screaming about what's gone down. And then, as I'm trying to process this, that's when the show ends.
Yeah.
That's what it goes out on. And while that was unfortunate and disappointing, I think it made it worse when I saw the internet leap to defend it.
Now, before you start on this,
Okay, all right, you go ahead.
let me give you my rating first, and
Go
then
ahead.
we're going to bury it.
Okay, go ahead.
If it was just the match
Yes.
alone,
Yeah.
I would have given it a 3, maybe a 3.5.
Sure.
That ending was so bad,
Yeah.
and you pissed off the people in the crowd
Yep.
so much.
They
were-
booed. They
booed,
audibly booed.
which you don't hear in AEW.
You don't hear that a lot at all.
I had to give it a 1.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
That's fair to me.
yeah, you ruined the ending. Now, I don't know about, I've only heard one person defend this. Now, I don't know if it's the same.
I was reading Twitter on the way back home, and one of the first things I saw was after the camera stopped rolling, Mox had come around. After, he was up again, and
After he's done getting bloated up.
yeah, he was delivering a post pay-per-view promo. And his thing was Kenny Omega can't build a exploding ring for shit. And
I saw that.
and people were defending the ending, like they were saying
How
like,
were they defending?
okay, they were saying like people had used the analogy of like this ending is kind of like the ending of a movie ruining, diminishing their appreciation of the movie, or something like something to that effect.
No.
They're talking about how it ruined, it really diminished how they felt about the show as a whole, and I understand that because it did for me. And people were defending it by saying, hey, there were other matches that night, and that ending was the ending to one match. And
Right.
that's not how that works, though, unfortunately.
Right.
Because this is a collaborative show under one banner, and you have to understand something. That's the last thing you saw.
Well,
That's when the cameras cut, and the show was fine up until then. Overall,
well, see, it goes back to the age-old adage.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 3.
sure.
Did 93,000 people fill up the Pontiac Silverdome to see Junkyard Dog and King Harley race in a loser must bow before me match?
No,
Or did they come to watch Hogan and Andre?
yeah, and that's not even my point.
Right.
My point is the last thing you saw that night after
Right.
a hard fought match that went well. The last thing you saw was disappointing pyro and people being forced to sell it,
Right.
and the cameras cut,
Yeah.
and that's like everything else you saw tonight. Great, pretty good, great overall. But what you the last thing you see, so the strongest thing you feel about this long show, that last thing you see is disappointment. It's gonna color how you feel for the rest of
Of course it is.
And I'm sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
So let me ask you this, Doggz.
Please.
Because I don't remember, and maybe it's because I'm trying to repress it. What was the score that you gave for that Roman Reigns Kevin Owens match with the handcuffs botch?
I gave that a 1.5.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to know if they were comparable because, like Chris, I also turned to Twitter to see what people were saying about this. And the most common thing that I saw people comparing it to was the handcuffs botch, which of the two, I wasn't present for the sparklers going off, but I feel like at least the sparklers went off and at least the people in the ring sold it. I feel like that Reigns botch was so much worse than this.
I think it was too, because that was a technical glitch. That was a technical glitch versus people actively fucking up.
Right.
However, here's where it gets worse for AEW. Is the problem is WWE is no longer on the old pay-per-view model.
Right.
But AEW is still kind of on one.
Sure.
Whereas you can probably let that go a little bit more because you're only paying $10 a month to view that stuff. AEW, you had to pay Doggz $49.95 to watch that show, and that's how it ended.
Yeah.
And I guarantee there are people out there who are like, well, I'm not buying one of those again for a long time, if at all. And they could have, it's like if they had been on the ball in any way, they could have saved it very easily. I thought of this like maybe a half hour to an hour after the show. It's like someone could have gone down there, gotten in Eddie's ear, and been like, hey, go ahead and stop selling. You look up, notice how it's not as bad as it looks, look annoyed.
Yeah.
Someone tell the announcers, hey, kind of start noticing how it didn't go off as as much as it should have. Start selling the idea that, yeah, okay, Kenny did, underdo it. And then they can spin that easily into Kenny being either very defensive and pretending like that was part of the plan, or being like that from the start, where he's basically, I was trolling you. I was trying to make you think you were going to get blown the fuck up.
Now, that's what I heard.
That's what they're going with. They are going with that, but they're going with that after the fact that Eddie still sold like death, that the announcer still acted like the ring went up. It's like, no.
No,
No, that would have worked if you had fixed it before the cameras went off. Mox's promo after the show doesn't mean shit.
Now, if we would have seen that and Kingston would have just kind of raised his head up and kind of like, the hell's this?
Yeah, because it diminishes so hard Eddie's work there.
Yeah.
It diminishes it and throws him under the bus because it overlooks the whole point of him coming out to help.
Yeah. The whole thing was just it was a travesty.
And I hate the fact that people are defending it so hard, because if you want AEW to grow and be a better company, hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
Make them work for it. You cannot let this company be respectful of you 95% of the time, and then when something like this happens, we got to work the marks.
Right, and they have been knocking them out of the park.
Yes.
Very consistently.
Yes.
When they don't, you got to call them on it. Overall, I gave this entire pay-per-view, sorry to do it, but we had too many botches. This is a 2.
Yes.
This is the lowest rating I've given an AEW pay-per-view. Not just because of the ending of the barbed wire.
Yeah.
No, there were some matches on there that had no business being in that pay-per-view. The damn thing was way too long. It started way too late. The people in Daly's place, they were tired, man. And then get a payoff like that, I'd be pissed. I'd be booing too. Absolutely, without question. If I'd have been closer to the ring, I'd have thrown stuff at it.
They need to listen to those boos and do better. It's literally, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Right, that's what it is. I wish I could. Look, they're going to have a couple.
Yeah,
they're going to have a couple.
Yeah.
This is one of them. I think they've had 3 of what I considered failed pay-per-views. This is the 3rd one. So, now moving into our fun stuff of the evening, our MVP of the night. I thought about this. There's a lot of people that that could have taken this one, and I chose Rey Fenix.
Yeah,
I think if anybody deserves it for the night, it was him. He looked amazing. He carried that whole match on his back. I want to go to you now for your best dressed. What do you got?
I'm going to go with Kenny Omega, because he dressed for a death match. He dressed, like when I've seen other people in death matches past, is like he knew what to put on. He put on the jeans, he put on the white shirt so you see the blood.
Buckhouse brawl.
Exactly.
Yep. Absolutely. Now, what do you have for a worst dressed?
No, you're going to be mad.
Oh, no.
It's MJF's entrance attire.
I knew you were going to do that.
Look.
I knew you were going to do that.
Look. I get that he was incorporating the scar.
Purposefully have not brought that up this entire podcast.
I was waiting to. I get that he was incorporating the scarf into the entrance thing, but he decided to incorporate it into this blue and white nightmare. With the scarf pattern down the middle, it looks like he stitched like a jacket from Evel Knievel to Woody's shirt from Toy Story. It did, and the thing is, that's not even a knock though, because with MJF's gimmick and who he is, the heel he plays, it makes sense that even if it looks butt ugly, if he puts it on because when he puts it on, he makes it look good in his mind.
That's right.
Anything he decides to put on is the perfect thing to wear, so it doesn't even hurt him.
Right. And I agree with MJF.
Uh-huh.
David Hensley, what do you have for best performance?
I didn't have one. I didn't pick one because I didn't finish the whole thing, and I didn't feel like that was, that I didn't think it was cool to judge it based solely on what I saw. I do have a worst, however.
Okay, lay it on me.
It's you for rating the Sparklers match lower than the Roman Reigns handcuff gate.
I stand by it. I stand by it. And how dare you? I'll put myself on here.
I just think it hits different when AEW screws up like that versus WWE. I think it's different because usually it's born.
No. You can't grade on a curve here.
I can. I'm not defending it like most of Twitter was for some reason because they desperately just don't want to admit that AEW screwed up.
Okay, all I'm going to say is everybody in the ring apparently sold what they were supposed to be selling.
Yeah.
A ref stopped counting so that the bit could continue.
Yes. It was blatant and it was terrible.
Yeah. I agree. It was bad.
I put them on par with each other. I'm not assigning numbers like Doggz. I would put them on par with each other.
Yeah. No, this was man, it was sparklers. It was sparklers on the ring post, man.
And it was, underwhelming firecrackers underneath. So
yeah. It was just, I used to get those same firecrackers at the beach when I was 8 for like 50 cents for a pack of 100, and it would just pop, 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 pop. And it was
that's what made me think it was like the practice pyro.
It was again
that assortment was, oh shit, I forgot I need fireworks. Let me run to the grocery store real quick.
Yeah, and because it's Florida, you can at least get some freaking bottle rockets, and that's what they did. Oh my god, yeah. Very disappointing, and that's another reason I'm being harsher on it. I paid for this damn thing.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's true.
You are allowed to bitch about that forever.
Yeah, that's
fair.
Like I paid $10 to watch Roman not be able to get handcuffs off. I paid $50 for Kingston to give Moxley a sloppy kiss and fall over dead.
I just think he doesn't really know how to spoon properly.
Clearly. I'm going to show you that video once we're off the air. Next up, I think we've got 2 weeks.
Oh, God.
And
Christ, really?
Yeah.
Fastlane. Yeah.
Fastlane.
Jesus. Yeah. Because they want to shoehorn, WWE wants to shoehorn one in before WrestleMania.
Yeah, we got Fastlane in 2 weeks, and then in another 2 weeks, we have WrestleMania.
Oh, we don't get one night of WrestleMania. We get 2.
Dose.
Oh, boy.
They have one match for WrestleMania. One.
All right.
Which is on. It's more matches than they have for Fastlane right now. They're gonna book this shit like the day of. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
It's Roman Reigns versus his acting coach.
Who wins that?
No one. We all lose.
No one, because they get paid to do it.
That's true.
And we pay to watch
it.
it.
Yeah, Roman wins. That's what happens. Oh man, I think that's gonna about do it. Barnes, you got anything?
I'm done.
All right. Well, coming up next week, we're going to be doing an off-topic episode of Long Walk Talks. And then the week after that, we're going to be continuing our Kevin Smith coverage by discussing the film Chasing Amy. And then it sounds like the week after that, we'll be discussing Fastlane.
Yeah.
You've been warned.
So, Doggz, if people want to reach out to you online, where can they do that at?
Well, just yesterday, I have started, I've reopened a new Twitter account. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, I think right now, I think it's like Barnes and...
That reminds me, I blocked someone on Twitter yesterday.
It was me. I think I've got like Barnes and like my son. And I think that's about all I've got following me right now.
That's okay. I gave up on our Long Walk Podcast Twitter.
That's fine.
We just need a dedicated social media person, and that person is not me.
Right. I figured I'd give it a shot. So if you want to follow me, I'm going to be, I'll update it and check it at least once a day. You can find me at David 2 Dogs Hayes, one word. You can also hit me up on Instagram at This Is a Work _for spaces.
All right. And Chris, what about you?
I'm still on the cesspool known as Twitter at Chris the OK.
Nice. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram at DB Hensley. To find out more about Long Walk Productions, you can visit us online at longwalk.us. You can go to Facebook and like Long Walk Productions and Long Walk Podcast to keep up with us. And to see more of our original content and hear a backlog of our older episodes on the Long Walk Podcast Network, you can follow the links in the show notes. And as always, if you enjoy this show or any of our shows, please make sure to leave us a rating and a review on whatever platform you are listening on.
All right. And for David Hensley, Chris Barnes, and myself, David 2 Dogs Hayes, saying, guys, if you got out of bed today and you had a job to go to and you had someone that cares about you when you get home, folks, this match is over and you just won via pinfall. Thank you for listening to This Is a Work.
The coffin drop is the world's deadliest trust fall.